right. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you all for dressing up. You look great. But really, do we have any fans of HBO out there? I love HBO. I feel like it's just like run on vengeance. Right now, they're all about Succession, which is like stabbing your siblings in the back to get some power. So it's family vengeance. And then a couple years ago, it was Game of Thrones, which was like different families stabbing each other in the back in order to gain power. But my favorite HBO show is Sex and the City. And Carrie Bradshaw doesn't really have a family. Her friends are her family. That's kind of the point. And she mostly just stabs herself in the back. But she does have a vengeful side. And I think that if Big had never married Natasha, Carrie wouldn't have needed to end up with him the way she did. And I understand that because I think we all are craving what we can't have. You know? I crave retirement all the time. And I don't know if I will ever get it. I just want to be able to retire 10 years left thinking about where I was and what I was wearing when I found out that Ginger Spice had left the Spice Girls. I want to be able to remember that for 10 years, not having to worry about work. And I'll tell you where I was. It was Memorial Day weekend in 1998, which also happens to be my 6th birthday, so I had a big party. It was disco themed, and I dressed as my favorite Spice Girl, Posh, so I was wearing a little Gucci dress designed by my mother. But I never forget anything, and I also never really get over things. It's a big part of my personality, and it's why I have so many friends. When I was in high school, my hometown was littered with these yard signs that said, "Parents who host lose the most." And it was basically like a shame tactic to get people to not host underage drinking parties. But I'll tell you what, it didn't work. In the spring that year, there was a huge party, and the cops broke it up. And they had to recast the musical. A bunch of athletes were benched. And the Science Olympiads, I don't think they could even go to the Olympics that year. I was not invited, but I was involved. The next weekend, me and all my friends, we got these cat suits on, and we went all around town and we picked up all of the signs. All around town, we got half a dozen, maybe more. I think I was supposed to say 2 dozen. And we went and we took all of the signs and we put them in the front yard of the girl, we'll call her Schmemily, who had hosted this party, so that she could wake up and see that her yard had been vandalized. And she was being shamed for hosting an underage drinking party where a lot of people got in trouble. Lots of people were pissed. So I had to rub it in. And you're like, why? Oh my God, what did Schmemily do? Well, I'll tell you, 4 years earlier, we are in 7th grade gym class. Yeah, we're in gym class in 7th grade. And she made some comment about how I didn't shave above the knee. And my calves were really smooth, but my thighs looked like a wildebeest. And I just stayed quiet because I knew I would get her back. Yeah. And I don't really understand, why are you allowed to shave your leg but only up to the knee? What's the point? It's like saying, yeah, you can have an assault rifle, but be home by 9. Was that too dark? It's about to get worse. So I can't really get over anything. I have never been able to get over the great American mystery that is the murder of John Benet Ramsey. I was not even 5 years old when I was standing in a Jewel Osco line, and all of the magazines were covered with this picture of a girl who was around my age. And she had bleach blonde hair, and she wore this big cupcake dress, and she wore makeup, and I looked down at my Oshkosh Bagosh overalls, and I just thought, am I ever gonna be as glam as this dead girl? And I think I've answered that question tonight. Thank you. Yeah. So So a couple weeks ago, someone was a little unkind to my parents, and I did what anyone would do. I just started to plan a murder. And it's not that I don't think they could plan their own murder, it's just that like murder is my love language. And I want to be really clear because I feel like this is being recorded, I would never murder someone, but I might want to organize one day. And I think the reason I'm so comfortable fantasizing about murder, organizing murder, is because I do think even if like everything went wrong, I think I could get away with it because I am aware of the American judicial system because I'm a big John Bonet fan. And I know what I look like. I'm like a young, hot Mrs. Claus. I look like I'm full of cheer and Christmas spirit. You guys, I hate to tell you this, but I'm only full of Dr. Pepper and rage. Yeah. And I don't believe in the glorification of murder, but I do believe in the empowerment of women. And every day, thank you guys, yes, feminism. And it's intersectional now, it's great. So every day I look around and I see on the news, I feel like men are getting accolades for acting out in rage and their anger. And it's almost like even when women have a reason to be mad, where it's like totally legitimate, we're painted as villains when we show any degree of anger or anything. So I have a fix. Let's say I go through with this fantasy. In 15 years, Suri Cruise, or someone like her, gains a bunch of weight to play me in the movie, which may be hosted on HBO, I don't know. And I go through with all of this just so I can help turn the dial on American culture in order to accept women in their full range of emotions, even when they're not like pretty, you know, even if it's not delicious. Like envy or ambition or even rage. I would do it. And you guys, you can see me, you can find me that year on the Oscars red carpet, and I will be wearing a little Gucci dress made by Gucci. Thank you guys. Have a good night.